382.4 trillion won, up 13.8% from the previous year. They achieved an average investment return of 5.26%, a significant rise from 0.02% in 2022. Over the past 5 years, the average return on investment was 2.35%, up from 1.51% a year earlier. The 10-year average return increased to 2.07% from 1.93%. Introduced in 2005, the corporate pension program allows employees to receive their pensions as a lump sum or in monthly installments. In 2023, 10.4% of the approximately 529,000 recipients chose monthly payments, surpassing 10% for the first time. In local news, Busan City said today that it will hold the 22nd anniversary seminar of the Busan Addiction Management Integrated Support Center, including a citizen lecture tomorrow at the City Hall. The seminar, hosted by the Busan Addiction Management Integrated Support Center operated by Busan University Hospital, will consist of a citizen lecture on addiction management policy and a policy forum discussing ways to utilize the center. Busan City said today that the first Busan Small Business Co-Prosperity Festival will be held from tomorrow until the 19th around the Oncheoncheon artificial waterfall in the Dongnae district to promote consumption of small business products. Hosted and organized by the Busan Small Business Association and supported by Busan City Dongnae District Office and Naver, this event will include an opening ceremony, sales exhibition, and various additional events. This event is designed to provide sales opportunities for small businesses and offer citizens a variety of entertainment during Family Month. Busan City said today that it will hold an economic issues inspection meeting in the afternoon at the City Hall conference room, presided over by Vice Mayor for Economic Affairs Kim Kwang-hae. The meeting will be attended by representatives from related institutions, including the Busan-Ulsan Regional Headquarters of the Korea Federation of SMEs. In international news, Russian President Vladimir Putin has arrived in Beijing for a meeting with Chinese President Xi Jinping. This visit makes Putin's first international trip since beginning his unprecedented fifth presidential term after an election where he ran virtually unopposed. The leaders' meeting, the third in just over a year, occurs as Russia's invasion of Ukraine continues into its third year. And throughout the conflict, Russia has been hit with hundreds of sanctions from the United States and its Western allies aimed at crippling Moscow's military capabilities. In response, Russia has increasingly turned to China for economic support. China has faced accusations of aiding Russia's war effort by supplying technology and components, and Beijing, however, maintains that these items are not lethal and have commercial uses. And now taking a quick look at the weather here. It's currently 22 degrees Celsius under clear skies. Air quality in the city is in the healthy levels. And that'll have to do it for this hour's news. Thank you for joining us. You're listening to BEFM Busan 영어방송.
Your best choice. BEFM Busan 영어방송.
Coming up next is Steve Hatherly Reboot. BEFM Busan 영어방송.
What you're about to hear is amazing. That's because you're locked in to Busan's #1 English radio station. Whether you're at home, at work, or driving in your car, you will be exposed to radio excellence. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show because it starts right now.
Words come and they go, which is, I suppose, a little bit ironic considering how much we use them each and every day. I'm using them right now, as a matter of fact. But it's true, isn't it? One phrase that's popular today might not be here tomorrow. And today on the show, I'm going to talk about some words or phrases that used to be all the rage, but slowly died away from use in the English language. It's Thursday, May 16th, 2024. I'm Steve Hatherly. This is Steve Hatherly Reboot. Let's go. That was Jake Bugg with Simple as This, and this is what Jake Bugg had to say about the song. He said that was a strange one because life in general, you come across a lot of barriers, and sometimes you just want to push through things and try to find an answer for everything. You try in every way, but in the end, it's not that simple. He has real Bob Dylan vibes to his music, in my opinion. He's not from the States, though. He grew up in Nottingham in the UK, once the largest housing estate in Europe, and he said about his childhood that he spent it having a kickabout with his friends. He said there used to be a football court in Clifton, but the council took it away, so the kids, they had nothing to do. So they're just going to make trouble, aren't they? So that's what they do. Several of the songs on his debut Jake Bugg albums, such as Seen It All, they draw on his early experiences from his life. He's a great artist, and he got us started today. I am live in the studio studio from Busan on this Thursday afternoon. Welcome to the show, everyone. You're tuned in on BEFM 90.5 in Busan, 103.3 FM in the Gijang, Jongguan, and Noksan areas. In Seoul on TBS EFM 101.3 and in Gwangju on GFN 98.7. I am your host, Steve Hatherly, and I thank you very much for being with us today. I'll start today with a little Busan travel tip for you. Now that the weather has gotten nicer, we had a day off, right? Everybody had a day off yesterday. I hope you enjoyed yourself. You can text me and let me know what you did. But Tuesday evening, and then again Wednesday afternoon, maybe earlier in the day on Wednesday, my wife and I went out for a really long walk. And if you're familiar with it's called the Oncheoncheon area of Busan, I would highly recommend going there if you're visiting Busan or if you live in the city. It's a little north, I guess, and west of Centum, if my geography is correct. I think that's where it is. Anyway, it's right along the stream. And it's got all these beautiful cafes there. I think it's called like Cafe Gil or something like that, like Oncheoncheon Cafe Gil or something like that. Anyway, it's this really cool little community. And we live not too far away from there. And we went out at night to go for a walk. And we just walked around all the streets there and we took so many pictures. It's so beautiful. I would recommend going at night, actually, because at night it's a little bit more picturesque because you have the lights from the stream. You have some lights from, of course, all the cafes and things like that. So it makes for a really great picture opportunity. And there's so many different spots where you can take a great picture as well. But in terms of what's there, it's not just one main street. It's like a grid, if you will. So you can walk along the main street and there's cafes there. But then inside the main street, inside the grid, there's so many great spots as well. Really unique spots. It's almost like a little art community too, like an art cafe community. The cafes there are gorgeous. They're really, really nice. And I'm not really a cafe kind of guy, but there's some great brunch spots there. There's some great art spots, a bookstore we found with art inside as well. There was a beer import shop. I had not seen one of those before. There were 3-level cafes where you could bring your dog. And there was one spot actually where they have like almost like a little play area for the puppies out front. So you put your puppy in, it's not a cage, it's just a fenced in area. You put your dog there and then you can sit at a table in the cafe and enjoy while you keep an eye on your puppy sitting outside. It's a really, really, really beautiful place. We've been there before, but only in the wintertime. So it really comes alive now that the weather's gotten warm. So look it up. If you're visiting Busan, make sure you go there. Go at night. That's my recommendation. Of course, everything is open in the daytime too, but going at night is just more picturesque and it cools down at night too, right? So you can walk around for a good couple of hours and eat a little bit in one spot, then go to another place and eat a little bit more and enjoy a really nice coffee somewhere, maybe a cocktail if that's what you're interested in. It's a really cool place, so please do go visit there. Like I said, I had been there before, but a totally different vibe now that it's summertime, and there's more people out walking around as well. So look it up and visit it, and go have some fun there. Again, I hope you enjoyed your day off yesterday. Back into the office today, of course. So now let's talk about the show. Go to youtube.com and search BEFM or 부산영어방송 in Korean. You can find our live stream there, and you can watch our live stream there until the songs start to play. Once they do start to play, then you can open up your BEFM app, or you can listen through FM radio, of course, as well. That's always an option for you. The reason for this inconvenience, it's because of music copyright issues. So if you want to get the whole show, then that's exactly how you do that. Watch the live stream. When the songs start, open up your app. We appreciate your patience. We know that requires some multitasking on your behalf. behalf, which is not completely 100% easy on you, but we do appreciate it. And hopefully, I keep saying it, I say it every day, hopefully at some point it gets itself worked out. All right, on the show, coming up in hour number 1 today, we'll start things off with Hot Off the Press, where you'll hear some trendy music that has been newly released. I'll give you some information about the artists and about the tracks as well. After that, it's Thursdays, so Cheryl will join me in the studio in just about 15 minutes' time for today's Parenting 101. Cheryl will be here to introduce some news about childcare and parenting, and we'll be listening to her experiences of raising her daughter as well. Then in hour number 2, for our fun fact of the day. This is what I was talking about in the opening of the show. Words, they come and go, right? Some words, and it's true for Korean, it's true for English, it's true for, I'm sure, every language around the world. The words or expressions that used to be used a lot, right? Like the catchphrases that were popular at the time, they fade away from the language. And then usually with newer, younger generations of humans, they come up with their own language, their own lingo, right? Well, today we're not going to look at the new catchphrases that young people are using. We're going to go back even further and find some phrases in English or some words in English that have become obsolete. But according to the author of the article, those words or phrases should be brought back to the language. Kind of a fun exercise to look at that, and we'll do that for our fun fact of the day. Then, for Hatherly's Hather List, it's a language theme in hour number 2. And I don't know about you, but sometimes when I hear or even use an expression, I think, where did that come from? So today we're going to learn about some intriguing origins of popular sayings. So it's going to be a language theme in the second hour today. Following that, we'll have Perfect Playlist, where we pick the best songs for every situation, and I'll check your messages, of course, throughout the program as well. All right, question of the day for you this afternoon. What's a word or phrase that you used to use? You used to say a lot in any language, but you don't use it anymore. So it used to be a part of your vernacular. It used to be a part of your everyday language, but you just stopped using it. Maybe because, maybe because the phrase wasn't popular anymore. Maybe because the phrase made you sound old somehow. For example, what was an 80s popular phrase? Rad? Or was that the 90s? Rad, right? That's rad, bro. Meaning awesome. If you say rad these days, it's going to make you sound dated. Meaning it's going to make you sound a little bit on the older side. So maybe that's a reason that you stopped using some of your expressions. Anyway, that's my question today. You used to say it a lot, but you don't say it anymore. What is that thing? 이전에는 많이 썼지만 더 이상 안 쓰는 단어나 어구는 무엇인가요? Think about that and then text me and let me know on your cell phone. Pounder sharp 9050. That will cost you 101. Add us on Kakao Talk for free. Send messages for free by searching BEFM or 부산영어방송 in Korean. Same search on your smartphone. You can download the app from any of the app stores. You can listen to our programs there and leave us a comment after logging in. We'll have a break and be back with today's Hot Off the Press after BB Rexha, Sacrifice. That was BB Rexha's Sacrifice. We're back, and it's time for today's Hot Off the Press, where from Monday to Friday, we bring you two of the newest, hottest tracks from the world of music, and a lot of songs get released every single week, and we choose a couple each day that we hope you'll enjoy. We'll start today with Orville Peck and Elton John. This is a cover of John's original Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting. South African country musician Orville Peck has released Stampede Volume 1, an album of duets with singers like Willie Nelson and Elton John. Originally announced back in April, Stampede Volume 1 comprises 7 duets, 2 covers, and 5 originals. Peck previewed the album by joining Willie Nelson for a rendition of Ned Sublet's Cowboys Are Frequently Secretly Fond of Each Other. Orville Peck also recruited Elton John, and that's the one we'll hear, for a cover of his beloved 1973 track, Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting. After that, Travis, Raise the Bar. Travis has shared this new single, and the song, which features additional vocals from Coldplay's Chris Martin and The Killers' Brandon Flowers, serves as the second preview from their new album, LA Times. That's coming out on the 12th of July. It follows the first single, Gaslight Guided, by frontman Fran Healy's storytelling lyrics. The laid-back track is an imagination of the final night at New York's iconic Black and White Bar, a haunt for the Scottish band and local creatives around Greenwich Village, which was forced to close due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Here we go with our 2 tracks for Hot Off the Press today. Orville Peck and Elton John, Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting. Then Travis, Raise the Bar. Those were our two tracks for Hot Off the Press today. Travis Raised the Bar, and before that, Orville Peck and Elton John, Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting. My question for you today, we're going to talk about language in the second hour. So my question is, what's a word or phrase that you used to say a lot in any language, but you don't say it anymore? 이전에는 많이 썼지만 pardon me, 더 이상 안 쓰는 단어나 아구는 무엇인가요? Insu texted and said, hey, Steve, nice weather. I agree. 예전에 유행했던 따뽕. Am I saying that correctly? Because it's the sangdiet, right? I always have trouble with those double consonants. 따뽕. And then another one, 짱. And then another one, 당근. So 따뽕, according to Na PD, was used in a popular orange juice commercial from the 1990s, where an old man came out in the commercial, I assume talking about the orange juice. It was saying, like, this orange juice is tapong, which sounds like the bomb in English, right? So maybe there's some connection there. I don't know. Insu says, 짱. Oh, yeah, 짱. People don't say 짱 anymore, right? For something that's fantastic or great or amazing. And then the other one was 당근, meaning 당연하지, meaning of course. Yeah, right. People used to say 당근. Wait. I still say that sometimes. Nobody told me, can I sign up to a newsletter or something so I can keep on top of these things? Good examples, Insu, and thanks for your message. MJ says, I try not to use words that represent discrimination. Yep, that's always a good idea. You can get yourself in quite a bit of trouble, MJ, if you are not practicing that, for sure. Thanks for your message as well. All right, that's our question today. Tell me about a word or phrase that you used to use, but really not so much anymore. Text pounder sharp 9050 on your cell phone for 101. Add us on Kakao Talk for free. Send messages for free by searching BEFM or 부산영어방송 in Korean. Same search on your smartphone. You can download the app from any of the app stores. You can listen to our programs there and leave us a comment after logging in. Oh, Cheryl 씨.
Hello.
따뽕.
따뽕.
Cheryl 씨, no, 짱이야. I guess people don't say that anymore.
No, I don't think so.
Did you used to say any of these things?
No.
No? Okay.
No, I've never said that.
What is something in English maybe you used to say but you don't say anymore?
How's it hanging?
How's it hanging? Yeah. How's it hanging? What does that mean?
Like, how you going? How you doing?
How are you? What's up? Yeah, how's it hanging? Yeah, that's like an 80s or 90s expression, right?
Exactly.
Nobody really uses that anymore. That's a perfect example. How you doing? You enjoying the nice weather these days?
It's quite chilly today. And it snowed up north today?
It snowed in the Seoul area.
Gangwon-do, I believe.
Really? Oh, wow.
There was like a snow warning.
In the mountains somewhere. Oh, my goodness. It's nearly June.
Yeah, and I've just realised I need a bib.
Did you get your lunch on you today?
I did.
Yeah, that happens to me all the time.
I am a child. I don't just talk about children.
Have you been to the Oncheon area? My wife and I, we had such a great time walking around there. The weather was gorgeous, right? And at nighttime, it's such a nice place to go to take some pictures. Have you gone there with the family?
I have. And actually, my daughter and my husband in the spring, they love to ride their bikes from Gwonoli all the way.
Yeah.
To Dongnae.
That's right. So if you take the stream, if you follow the paths next to the stream, you can go all the way to Gwangali. How long did they walk that, or you said bicycles?
No, they took the bikes.
Okay, so how long on the bike to get? It wouldn't be that long, would it?
No, it wasn't that long, but they stopped quite often for snacks and breaks and playing. So about 2 hours.
It's a cool thing about Busan, isn't it? Is that, a lot of the areas are connected by streams or parks, and you can just kind of take walking paths or follow the streams and get from neighborhood to neighborhood.
Yeah.
It's a cool thing. It's good to see you. It's time for Parenting 101 time. We're going to get up to date on some childcare, parenting issues, and listen to Cheryl's experiences of raising her daughter as well. What's our topic today? So
today we've got another article from Upworthy about ways that kids appear to be acting naughty but actually aren't.
Ways that children seem to be misbehaving But actually, they're not misbehaving at all.
Exactly.
Huh, okay. I don't even really know what that means, but we're going to get into it. So how can you, I guess the first question is, how do we know how to distinguish between those two things, misbehaving and not misbehaving?
So, according to the article, many bad behaviors are actually normal developmental acts of growing up. They can be reactions to environmental conditions, developmental phases, or a parent's own actions. So it's important to recognize when a child is actually behaving badly or when it has to do with one of these things.
Okay. Well, maybe it's easier to get some examples.
I think so.
And then we'll know what we're talking about. So what's the first bad behavior that actually is not a bad behavior?
So the first is that children who can't control their impulses.
For example?
So when a kid is told, don't throw that, and then they go and they throw it.
Okay, right. So that's not them being rude.
Yeah, it's not them being naughty. It actually comes down to some research that has said that the brain regions involved in self-control are immature at birth and don't fully mature until the end of adolescence, which is a very long and slow process. Also, according to a recent survey, 56% of parents felt that children under the age of 3 should be able to resist the desire to do something forbidden, whereas most children don't master this until about 4, or in my husband's case, still haven't mastered it.
He's still throwing stuff.
He's still throwing stuff.
So that means that young kids, we've seen this with babies, right? They'll just pick something up and then they'll throw it. It's almost like an instinctual thing. Babies are weird, right? You don't know what they're going to do.
Children are weird.
You don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah.
They're very unpredictable. They don't use logic a lot of the
Not
time.
at all.
But that's not their fault. That's the point. But as adults, you said 56% of parents, they feel like their children should be able to act like an adult, make adult decisions.
At least control their impulses.
Under the age of 3,
Yeah.
parents still expect that. So then, therefore, when a kid throws something, when they are told, do not throw that thing, then the parent gets upset.
Exactly. So parents need to remind themselves that kids can't always manage their impulses because their brains aren't developed yet. So we need a gentler reaction to that kind of behavior.
And that would be like just suddenly yelling out language or words or whatever, right?
Yeah, you just got to remember that children can't control their impulses.
Interesting.
So after it's thrown, maybe call the kid over and talk to them. You really shouldn't have thrown that, and explain why.
Use it as a teaching moment.
Exactly.
Okay, I understand. Yeah, you did that. That's not the issue. But just, in the future,
Yeah.
try to not do that.
Exactly.
Okay, got
But
it.
don't give them a reason to do it next time by saying, I know you can't control your impulses.
Don't give them the reason why. Okay, what's the next one?
So the next is overstimulation. Every parent has experienced some kind of meltdown, hyperactivity, outright resistance, especially since these days kids have jam-packed schedules. Oftentimes these are perceived as acting out or bad behavior. But overstimulation and exhaustion are all part of raising kids these days, and it's natural.
Okay, and I'm guessing that, having exhausted kids is especially true here in Korea because they go to hagwons or institutes a lot of the time, and if not, then they're busy with their homework anyway. They're just constantly studying, constantly learning something, constantly thinking.
Constantly doing.
And added in the societal pressures of high school.
Exactly.
Or middle school, or even elementary school.
Absolutely.
That mini
kindergarten.
Yeah, the mini culture that exists there, right? So therefore, I guess keep that in mind as a parent, that if your kid has that kind of tough schedule, and then sometimes they have a little bit of an attitude, just be patient with that, because it's not really who they are. It's not their intention. It's just kind of and they're acting out because they're so tired.
Exactly. The article had stated that some children who are overstimulated or just have such a jam-packed schedule, they have a cumulative stress reaction from too much activity, toys, choices, enrichment. So kids need time to balance their uptime with downtime.
And that makes sense if we think about the fact that the child's brain has still not fully developed. So having to deal with all of these responsibilities or stresses, it's just like another straw, another straw, another straw. But they don't have the tools yet to be able to deal with that in a reasonable way.
Exactly.
Does your daughter suffer from this with a busy schedule and things like that?
Absolutely not. She's not busy at all.
Okay, more time than she needs to
She
have.
has so much free time.
Okay, so let's do one more before the break then.
So the next one is kids' physical needs affecting their mood. And this is true of adults too. Everyone's been hangry or out of patience because we're tired. But unlike adults, little kids are affected tenfold by what the article referred to as core conditions, like being tired, thirsty, hungry, sick. So it's not really bad behavior when they're acting out. It's a response to the environmental factor.
That's a really important thing to know. So when you feel hungry, just remember when your kid feels hungry, they feel it 10 times more than you do.
Exactly.
When you feel tired, remember your child, when they're tired, they're 10 times more tired than you are. This is interesting and it's really important to know. So when they say they're hungry and they say, I'm really hungry, then they're super stressed in that moment. When they say they're tired, you have to acknowledge they are super ultra tired.
Exactly.
And that will affect their behavior, no doubt.
Yeah, well, even an hour before meals start to come up, a lot of parents will notice that there's a change in the child's behavior.
Interesting.
Because they're hungry.
Right.
And they're starting to get hungry and the behavior is starting to...
The attitude's starting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Why, just before we go to a break, why does that affect children so strongly?
Well, they haven't yet learned how to recognize their own behavior patterns.
Okay.
And they haven't recognized how being hungry affects them. We know, I start to feel hungry. I know I'm going to get moody. I should eat something.
Okay.
But kids are waiting for parents to take the cues.
And they don't get when we, as adults, when we feel hungry, we know time to get myself some food.
Exactly.
A kid does not have that I need to provide food for myself instinct. Everything is reliant on their parents or their caretakers.
Exactly. Kids can't communicate to help themselves to a snack, a nap, medication like we can.
Right.
So helping kids through routines, prepping for when a schedule might get thrown off is important, especially with young kids. Routines are so important, they need to know what's coming next.
Okay, so dinner time should be, if you can, schedules change, but if you can, keep it as regular as you can. Sleeping times should be regulated as well.
Absolutely.
That's why it's important, in your opinion and experts' opinion, to get the kids to bed on a regular schedule.
Yes.
Interesting. All right, we've got more coming up with Cheryl in today's Parenting 101 after Patrice, Such is Love. That was Patrice with Such Is Love. And today with Cheryl in Parenting 101, we're talking about behaviors from children that may be perceived as bad behavior. When in fact, it's not bad behavior. It's that children don't have the necessary tools or haven't learned yet how to control particular emotions. So therefore, it's not actually bad behavior at all.
Exactly.
Okay, what's another one then?
So another one is that kids' physical needs affect their mood. We talked about that already. Look at me. Tired today. So the next one is that kids have a developmental need for tons of movement. Both teachers, parents of young children always see kids fidgeting, and when they're told to sit down for long periods of time, they always want to move.
They can't.
Especially when they're young.
They can't sit still.
Kids can't sit still.
Okay. So even something like taking your child to get a haircut can be a big deal because they're required to just sit there. And children have a physical need to move. That's interesting. I've never heard that before. I know kids get fidgety and they don't want to stay in one place. Even babies, that when a baby, sometimes if they sit in your lap for too long, they'll try to slither out of there down to the floor, right?
Yeah.
So this is from the time they're born. Why is this?
So kids need to spend time outside playing, swinging from things, climbing, jumping off things, racing around things. And it's perceived as bad behavior when kids want to move, but it's natural for them. So when kids start to fidget, it's time to get them up and moving.
Okay, so how do teachers deal with this, right? Because you've got a classroom filled with, 20, 30 kids who require movement, but the school requires them to sit in the same place for 40 minutes at a time. So then how is this not recognized in the education system?
Some education systems have started to recognize this, and young children only have an attention span of about 20 minutes.
Oh, okay.
So part of the activity, part of the planning is to get children up and moving or change directions after 20 minutes.
Okay, so they have an attention span of 20 minutes. So after that, it doesn't matter what you're talking about. They're not going to pay attention to you.
Exactly.
Number two, they need to move. How frequently? Is it also 20 minutes?
No, just getting them up, moving, shaking things off, and then get them to sit back down.
Okay.
It's okay. They just need to move a little bit.
Okay. So then you might think moving from classroom to classroom or something like that, that little bit of movement for maybe 3, 4, 5 minutes, that's enough. Okay, just asking them to sit still for too long is going to be frustrating for them.
Or even if there's a kid that's got a lot of energy, having something at the back. So for teachers, having something at the back of the room where they can get up, maybe like some footprints that they can jump on, 1 foot and 2 foot.
Hopscotch.
Yeah, just get up, do a little bit of hopscotch and sit back down again.
Okay. The next one on your list, I think, might be the most difficult to understand for parents. Defiance. Do this. No. Do that. No. Eat this. No. Don't eat this. No, I will eat that, actually. Just whatever you say, they want to do the opposite.
Exactly.
But that's not attitude.
That it's not. And this is especially true in teen years and during toddler years. It's not bad behavior. It's part of asserting independence, and it's actually a natural stage of development.
So it's not, I don't respect you, and I'm going to not do what you want. It's just, I'm becoming an adult now, and this is my way of showing you. So it actually doesn't matter what you recommend. If you hear no, then it's not attitude. It's just a natural part of the progression.
Yeah, even though it's annoying, the child is really doing what they're supposed to be doing. They're trying to carry out their own plans, make their own decisions, and become their own little independent people. So letting them try is key. If they fail or need help, then we can step in and lend a hand. But it's important to let them try. And the defiance, especially teen years, there's really nothing to be done about it. You just got to pick your battles.
You just got to, yeah, right. If it's really, really, really important, well, that's a good thing for parents to know as well. If it's not that big a deal, hey, I'm going to go grocery shopping. Come with me. No. All right, whatever. That's not really that. So don't get mad and don't force that. I'm just using that as an example because it's not that big a deal. But if you do have a big event, then communicate that to your child. Look, I know this isn't maybe something that you want to do, but I need this for me. So please do this for me, okay?
Exactly. Even things like picking up clothes.
Okay.
Like, I need you to pick up your clothes. A day passes. Next day, the clothes are still there. Well, could you pick up your clothes? Now the day passes. 3 days on, the clothes is still on the floor.
At what point is it okay for a parent to show a little anger towards their child to get the point across? Hey, excuse me, I've been asking you this for a few days now, and you're not doing it. So at what point is that okay?
My opinion, I think by day 3, because by then, I think some of the clothes could get up and walk off by themselves.
I guess the important thing is don't give in and do it for them.
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right. And also, there's no point in getting mad about it.
Oh, okay.
Because then, especially for teens, hormones are raging. So it's best to just try to phrase it nicely. I could really use your help around the house. I've asked you a couple of times.
But then it seems like...
Please pick up the clothes.
It seems like you're just like walking on eggshells around your teenage child who lives in your house for free. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's got to be a point where you just remind them, like, hey, excuse me, that food that goes in your belly comes from my wallet. This roof over your head comes from my wallet. So if I ask you to do something, could you just do it, please? Thank you. No?
Well, it depends on what it is. So if it's clothes on the floor, no big deal.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, if you're wasting food or doing things that you shouldn't do, then a stronger approach, absolutely.
So tough for parents, though, because parents go to work and they have their own stresses and their own social communities at the office, and then they've got to come home and, oh my gosh, I've asked my kid 3 days in a row, and you got to maintain your patience, and tough to balance all of that stuff. See, that's why Parenting 101 is such an important radio segment to have, right? All right, that was, wait, where was it? That was Tabong. Or whatever. Yeah. John. Thanks, Cheryl. Have a great week. We'll see you again next time.
See you next time.
Stay with us for hour number 2. It's David Guetta and Sia to finish the first Titanium.
BEFM 부산 영어방송.
혹시 지금 운전 중이신가요? 어린이 교통사고 피해자 수는 지난 3년 평균 약 9만 명. 특히 어린이 보호구역 안전 기준이 강화된 이후에도 어린이 보호구역 내 사고는 지속적으로 발생하고 있습니다. 스쿨존에서는 반드시 시속 30km 이하 서행, 스쿨존 내 불법 주정차 금지, 차량 출발 전 앞뒤 좌우 살피는 습관으로 어린이가 안전한 도시를 만듭니다. 참, 운전 중 휴대전화 사용은 모두에게 위험합니다. 우리 모두를 위한 교통안전, 나부터 실천하면 모두가 안전해집니다. 어린이가 안전하게 뛰어놀 수 있는 부산. 아이 키우기 좋은 도시는 우리 모두의 미래이자 희망입니다. 이 캠페인은 어린이가 안전한 부산을 만드는 은행, B&K 부산은행과 함께합니다.
Join us at the Busan Cinema Center on May 18th for an unforgettable pop song contest. BFM is excited to present 팝송의 끝을 본 사람들, featuring the talented stars of All-Star English as part of the celebrations of the 19th Busan Global Gathering. Come and be a part of the grand finale at 2:30 p.m. at the outdoor stage, where 7 of the most talented competitors will battle it out for the top prize. But that's not all. You can also enjoy a special performance by R&B star Kim Jo-han, along with me, Minsu, and Campbell Asia, the hosts of All-Star English. Don't miss out on the fun and exciting events for the audience as well. So make sure to mark your calendars for May 18th, 2:30 p.m., and be part of a very special day filled with music, entertainment, and memorable moments at the Busan Cinema Center. See you there!
The time is now 3 o'clock.
You're listening to Steve Hatherly Reboot on BEFM 90.5. That was the Kooks with Junk of the Heart, Happy. And the vocalist of the group, Luke Pritchard, found himself writing lyrics containing a lot of emotional drama for their third album. And the phrase junk of the heart kept coming back to him. He said in an interview, even before we went to record, I wanted to name the album that. It just made sense. The songs lyrically are about baggage, my junk of the heart. I got very obsessed with the relationship between pain and love and how you can't have one without the other. Junk of the heart represents that for me in one phrase. Oh, is that true? You can't have pain if you don't have love, emotional pain, and you can't have love if you don't have pain, meaning if you love, you're going to get hurt sometime, some way, somehow, in some way, shape, or form. I think that's actually probably true, isn't it? I don't think I've ever connected the two just like that before. Well done, Luke Pritchard of the Kooks, for teaching. That one got us into hour number 2 of Steve Hatherly Reboot on this Thursday afternoon. Thanks for staying with me. You're tuned in on BEFM 90.5 in Busan and 103.3 FM in the Gijang, Jongguan, and Noksan areas. In Seoul on TBS EFM 101.3 and in Gwangju on GFN 98.7. Again, thanks for sticking around for the second hour. Interesting topic today with Cheryl in Parenting 101. I mean, it's always interesting to learn about children. They're so kind of mysterious in their behavior, isn't it? So digging into the reasons why they behave the way they behave is kind of fun, right, to learn about. And we learned something important there today, I think, right? When you think sometimes your child is misbehaving, there's no doubt about that. But many times it's not misbehavior. It's just where they are in their developmental stage. And I think the most familiar one we learned perhaps today was the defiance one. No. Do you want to eat this? No. Do you want to go here? No. What do you want to do? Nothing. Where do you want to go? Nowhere. What did you learn? Nothing. It's just teenagers. And you know what's really funny is it's universal. This is not down to culture or language or anything. This is just how teenagers behave, right? And there's nothing wrong with it. So if you encounter that behavior, I guess the message that we learned from Cheryl today is just kind of like, okay, just wait it out. It's like a rainstorm, maybe, right? You just wait for it. You don't yell at the sky when it's raining, right? You just wait for it to stop, and then you know it will eventually stop one day. Were you a teenager? Were you like that when you were a teenager? Not PD. Were you like that when you were a teenager? No. I was a little bit. My dad asked me every single day of school, because my dad was a vice principal, high school vice principal. Every day, he would ask me, what did you learn at school today? My answer, every day, nothing. That's what I said every day. Now, that's not true, obviously, but I don't want to go into the details of what I learned in history or math or science class or whatever, right? So I just said, nothing. Every single day. What an attitude. How terrible. It's just my dad asking me what I learned at school. Nothing. But you know what he said? Every single day, he said the same thing. So this is how the conversation went. Hey, Steve, what'd you learn at school today? Nothing. Oh, really? Gosh, I think we should change schools because you haven't learned anything there. That's a pretty funny response, right? He knew, because he knew I wasn't misbehaving. I wasn't trying to give a bad attitude. I was just, being a teenage boy, I guess, right? So good to remind parents of that, I guess. So it was a good segment today with Cheryl. That's my point. Yes, thank you for staying with me for hour number 2. We're going to switch our focus over to the topic of language in this second hour. And we'll start with our fun fact of the day. We've got some obsolete words in the English dictionary that perhaps we should bring back. You can make your own decision on whether you think the word is cool or not. But yeah, these are words that you will not hear people use in everyday conversation anymore. These words are old. They're gone from the English language, but there's some fun ones in there. So I thought that might be a fun topic for today's fun fact of the day. After that, we'll stick with our language theme for hour number 2. And we'll go over a couple, maybe 3, 4, we'll see how we go, origin stories of popular expressions. For example, one on the list is to turn a blind eye. To turn a blind eye means to ignore something that you know is happening, but you just pretend like it's not happening. We've talked about this expression, I think, on the show before. But where does this expression come from? Well, that's one of the ones I'm going to talk about today. So we'll see where we are on the clock. I'll choose at least 2 and maybe 3 or 4 or maybe even 5. We'll see how we go in terms of time. After that, we'll have Perfect Playlist where we have the best songs for every situation. And I, of course, will check your messages throughout the second hour of the show as well. All right, my question for you today, it's language related, and this is what I want to know. What is a word or phrase that you used to say a lot in any language? Korean, English makes no difference. But that word or phrase, you don't say it anymore. So text me and let me know what that is. 이전에는 많이 썼지만 더 이상 안 쓰는 단어나 어구는 무엇인가요? This is a good example. This is from Sunhwa. Hi, Sunhwa. It says, 예전에 죽겠네란 말을 많이 썼어요. For example, 배고파 죽겠네, 졸려 죽겠네, 힘들어 죽겠네, 하기 싫어 죽겠네. The list goes on and on and on. 죽겠네 means I'm gonna die. So, 배고파 죽겠네, I'm so hungry, I'm gonna die. 졸려 죽겠네, I'm so tired, I'm gonna die. 힘들어 죽겠네, same thing. I'm so tired or exhausted, I'm gonna die. This one I never heard. 하기 싫어 죽겠네. I've never heard that before, but you might hear that from your teenage child. I don't want to do this so much, I'm gonna die. That one's tough to figure out grammar-wise in English. Yeah, but that's true. I used to use this too. 배고파 죽겠네. I used to say that all the time. I'm so hungry, I think I'm going to die. Obviously, that's hyperbole. Hyperbole, right? Hyperbole means like a great exaggeration. You're not going to die when you say that, but that's how we express how hungry we are, right? That's a really, really good example, Sunhwa. Thanks for it. Keep your answers coming in and share with me the word or phrase that you used to say a lot, but you just don't use it anymore. Text me pounder sharp 9050. That will cost you 101. Add us on Kakao Talk for free. Send messages for free by searching BEFM or Busan영어방송 in Korean. Same search on your smartphone. You can download the app from any of the app stores. You can listen to our programs there and leave us a comment after logging in. All right, let's get to our expression for today. This is a good expression too. I've not heard this in Korean, so it's a good learning experience for me. Of course, I have heard of this in English, so we'll hear it and then we'll learn the expression in English and Korean, of course. But here's the context of the situation. This is a conversation, this is from King of the Land. It's a conversation between husband and wife. And these days, he has to do all the housework. And he's saying, 힘들어 죽겠네 is what he's saying, right? And she comes and she brings some rubber gloves. And she goes, 이거 기꺼 해, meaning put these on. And he looks at her and he says, whoa, my gosh. And this is what he says.
고양이 쥐 생각하냐?
고양이 쥐 생각하냐? 고양이 쥐 생각하냐? All right, so this is really simple, and it's a fun translation in English as well. So, what does this mean? Well, 고양이 means a cat, and 쥐 means mouse, and 생각하냐 is to think. So, cat, mouse, think. All right, so what does that mean? So what that means is you look like a mouse, you act like a mouse, you think you are a mouse, but actually you're a cat. So what can that possibly mean then, right? You think you're a mouse, but you act like a cat. Let me give you the translation in English. Are you a wolf in sheep's clothing? All right, so a sheep is harmless, right? A Mouse is harmless. They will not hurt you at all. They will not bother you at all. But a wolf is dangerous. So, a wolf in sheep's clothing. So think about that. This is a really fun expression in English. Think about you have a sheep suit, right? So you have your sheep yangbok. So you put it on. The wolf puts on the hat, the sheep hat, and the sheep jacket, and the sheep pants. So then when you look at the wolf, it looks like a sheep, but it's not. It's a wolf. This expression, 고양이 쥐 생각하냐? You look like a mouse. You look innocent and not dangerous, but you are. You're a cat. You're a predator. That's what this expression means in English and in Korean, right? Because when you look at a sheep, you think this is not a threat at all, but inside is a wolf. Good expression, right? Are you a wolf in sheep's clothing? Now, when can we use this expression? I guess it's kind of a unique situation, right? But we use this when we want to say to somebody, oh, you look like a really nice, innocent person, but actually you are a little bit dangerous. So when can we use that? I'm trying to think of like office situations. Maybe one of your coworkers, they always smile and they say hello to you. Good morning. But actually, they are very cutthroat, and they like to spread rumors around the office. They like to say bad things about other people. They like to try to promote themselves, make themselves better. They try to kiss up to the boss. You can say about that coworker, they are a wolf in sheep's clothing. They look innocent. They act innocent. They are not innocent. That's what this expression means. All right, so let's hear it one more time in Korean. 고양이 쥐 생각하냐?
고양이 쥐 생각하냐?
Because she looks, why he says this, his wife looks very small and very cute and very pretty. She looks very innocent, and then she brings some gloves and she goes, yeah, 이거 끼고 해. Put these on and 계속 청소해. 빨리. Like that. That's why he said that to her. All right, those are your expressions for today. Hopefully that helps out your Korean or your English, depending on which one you are studying. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll switch over to our theme of language in this second hour, and we'll talk about some old words that are gone from the language that maybe we might want to consider bringing back. We'll see how you feel about that after this. Medium build. Say hi. That was Medium Build with Say Hi. And now it's time for our fun fact of the day. And today we're going to have a look at some old words, like not just a little bit old, but like super, super old that don't exist in the English language anymore. But we're going to see, maybe let's bring them back, not bring them back. I'll share them with you and you can make a decision. Yes, we need to bring that back, or no, that can stay buried in the closet. All right, first one. You can take a guess at what these mean as well. First word, crapulous. What does this mean? Crapulous. It sounds almost dirty, doesn't it? Something bathroom related, but it's not. It is a feeling, if you're feeling crapulous, but it means that you've eaten too much or drank too much. I guess it means you're super, super full. So when you finish eating a big meal, then you can go out and you can say, 엄청 많이 먹었는데, 진짜 crapulous 인데. You can say that if you want to. But my vote is, let's not bring that one back because it doesn't sound very nice, does it? Cacophonic. Cacophonic is a word. Cacophonic means words that don't sound nice. Euphonic, words that sound nice. Crapulous is a word that is very cacophonic, right? It doesn't sound nice when you say it out loud. So that one, let's leave it. How about this, though? Kind of cacophonic, but it's kind of a cool word. Groak. The word is groak. G-R-O-A-K. What do you think it means? Sounds like a frog sound, right? Croak, croak. No. So groak means, they don't know where the word came from, by the way, but it means to watch someone silently as they are eating. So if you're someone in your house is eating and you're just sitting there staring at them, then you are groaking. So your friend might say to you, stop groaking and eat some food. I say, bring it back. I like this one. Also kind of cacophonic, right? Groak, groak. Doesn't sound very nice to say, but I like the meaning. Silently watching someone eat. Stop croaking and get some food. That's a good one. How about this one? This one sounds very fancy. Excogitate. Excogitate. E-X-C-O-G-I-G-A-T-E. What does that mean? It means to plot or to plan or to devise. This has Latin roots, and it means to bring out by thinking. So if you're looking at your coworker, right? And sometimes I sit and I watch my wife. I'm not groaking. It's not while she's eating, but she sits and she thinks. And I just watch her like, what are you thinking about? I'm so curious to know. Well, what she's doing is she is excogitating at the time. So I will ask her next time, what are you excogitating? You need a little practice with the pronunciation on this one. Excogitate. What are you excogitating about? What are you thinking about? What are you planning? I say bring it back. That's a good one. Okay, next. Twaddle. T-W-A-T-T-L-E. Twaddle sounds like tweeting or something, but it's not. It means to gossip. Gossip. So sometimes in the office, if you have a person in your office who is a wolf in sheep's clothing, maybe they enjoy twaddling. They like to gossip. I don't like the sound of this word, though. It sounds weird. So I say, keep it buried in the closet. Okay, how about this one? Gorgonize. This is from the early 17th century. This is I don't know, is it euphonic? Does it sound nice to you? Gorgonize. Gorgonize. The first thing that comes to mind to me is Gargamel from the Smurfs, or Gorgonzola cheese. but I'm always thinking about cheese. I'm always excogitating about cheese, aren't I? What does it mean, gorgonized? Gorgonize. It's from the early 17th century, and it means to have a mesmerizing effect on someone, as in, I was gorgonized by his charisma. He has such great charisma. I was gorgonized. Has a nice sound to it, doesn't it? The word means something beautiful, as a matter of fact. This person is so good looking, or they're so charming, that I was like this. Wow. That's gorgonized. But I don't really like the sound of the word, and it reminds me of cheese, so I say keep it buried. Let's do a couple of more. Oh, should we bring this back? Snout fair. Snout fair. What does this mean? Well, it doesn't have anything to do with pigs, because a pig's nose we call a snout, right? That's called a pig's snout. But it doesn't have anything to do with pigs or a lovely snout or nose, but it does refer to a good-looking person. It comes from the 1500s. And today, it doesn't mean anything at all. But at that time, it meant that guy is hot. That girl is hot. They are total snout fair. No, don't bring this back. This doesn't sound good. And if you say this to somebody, oh, you are total snout fair, I don't know what kind of reaction you're going to get from them. How about this one? Let's finish with one that I do want to bring back. Last one. Brabble. This is a fun-sounding word, isn't it? Brabble. B-R-A-B-B-L-E. So, brabbling is two people arguing over something that doesn't matter, something inconsequential. When you're arguing about something that doesn't make any difference at all, then you are brabbling. If you're having an argument about, I don't know, at the grocery store, for example, should we buy this type of yogurt or that type of yogurt? No, this one is better because anyway, let's stop brabbling, arguing over something inconsequential or something that doesn't matter at all. I like that list. I like that's a good list. How am I looking today, by the way? Am I snout fair? Maybe I do want to bring that one back. That one's kind of fun. There's so many more on the list, but I think we'll keep it there because we have to get to Hatherly's Hather List when we come back from this one. That's our fun fact of the day for today. Here's Steven Sanchez, Until I Found You. That was Steven Sanchez, Until I Found You, and now it's time for Hatherly's Hather List. And we stick with our theme of language in the second hour, and we talk about the origins of popular sayings. If you know me, you know I love language, I love words, I love speaking, I love how beautiful words can be and how powerful they can make us feel, either in a good way or in a bad way. And these are some expressions that I've used and native English speakers use from time to time, but one thing that I've never really considered is where these expressions came from. So this is like the backstory, if you will, of some popular English expressions. So let's get to, let's see how we go. Maybe three. We'll try to do three and maybe squeeze in a fourth as well. Let's start with this one. To turn a blind eye. This expression is used to refer to the act of ignoring or failing to acknowledge something that you know to be real. The expression finds its roots in the naval exploits of Admiral Horatio Nelson during the Battle of Copenhagen in 1801. In the midst of the intense battle, Nelson, commanding the British fleet, received a signal from his superior to withdraw from the engagement. He was told, "Stop fighting, get out of there." However, Nelson, renowned for his boldness and strategic acumen, allegedly raised his telescope to his blind eye, claiming that he could not see the signal. By turning a blind eye to his direct order, Nelson defiantly continued the fight, ultimately securing a decisive victory for the British forces. So, he was told to do one thing, but then he decided not to do that. He ignored it. So that expression, that's what that means. You know something is going on, but you just choose to act like you don't know it exists. That's a good one. Here's another good one. Oh gosh, you know this expression? Crocodile tears, to shed crocodile tears. I've used it. I didn't know where it came from, but here's the story. The phrase, to shed crocodile tears, simply means to show an insincere emotion or feigning sadness or grief. So simply speaking, fake tears, fake crying, not sincere emotions at all. The saying originates from ancient lore surrounding crocodiles. In various cultures, it was believed that crocodiles cried while devouring their food, creating the illusion of sadness. This belief likely stemmed from observing the watery discharge that occurs when crocodiles open and close their jaws. Interesting. Over time, this phenomenon became associated with insincere displays of emotion or false sympathy. The term crocodile tears first appeared in English literature in the 16th century, reflecting this ancient notion and suggesting that tears shed were not genuine, but rather a deceptive facade. It became popular in the English language as a metaphor for hypocrisy, or someone who is being a hypocrite as well. That's cool to know, though. I didn't know this about crocodiles. When they open their mouths and close their mouths, then this watery stuff comes out of their eyes. So, of course, when you eat, you're opening your mouth, closing your mouth, opening your mouth, closing your mouth. So it looks like the crocodiles, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm eating you." But that's not it's not tears, and hence that's where the expression came from. That's cool to know. I didn't know that before. Let's do another one. Feeling under the weather. You know what this means, right? To feel under the weather. It means to feel sick or feel not so good, not well. Feel ill. So where does it come from? Well, the term feeling under the weather is used when someone feels unwell or in low spirits, and the saying has its origins in maritime terminology, meaning the ocean. In the 19th century, sailors used the phrase under the weather bow to describe a ship's position when it was being battered by rough seas and adverse weather conditions. Being under the weather meant enduring the discomfort and sickness that often accompanied such conditions. The seasickness. And then as time passed, the nautical expression, the ocean expression, found its way into common usage as a metaphor for feeling unwell or it's experiencing a mild illness. And that's the key, right? It's mild. If you say, I'm feeling a little under the weather, it just means you feel slightly sick. But it came from the ocean, from a nautical expression. Interesting. One last one. You want to do one last one? I do. Let's see. The cat out of the bag. Should we do that? Let's do bull in a china shop. No, let's do this one. This is good. Straight from the horse's mouth. Straight from the horse's mouth is an expression that means a person has received information from someone who has personal knowledge of the spoken matter. That's a little bit confusing. Let me explain it like this. If your coworker says to you, oh, Friday, we don't have to come to the office, and you say to your coworker, oh, that's just a rumor or something, and your coworker can say, no, 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 no. I heard it straight from the horse's mouth, meaning I heard it from the boss. I heard it from the direct source. Okay, so that's what that means. So in this context, receiving information straight from the horse's mouth means obtaining it directly from a knowledgeable and reliable source. Now, what's the connection to a horse? Well, it was often the horse's owner or trainer or someone closely associated to the horse a long time ago. But you're thinking, yeah, but what horse? Well, the phrase gained popularity because obtaining information directly from those intimately involved with the horse provided gamblers on horse races with the most accurate and reliable insights into the horse's condition, the performance level of the horse, and the horse's chances of winning. So, learning something straight from the horse's mouth is getting it from a reliable source, and it came from gambling as well. Interesting to know, right? This is related. I did not know this. I've used this expression a whole lot, but I never learned that before. I'm having fun. Can we do one more, Napidi? Just one last? Okay, thank you. Just one last one. See, I told you I love words, right? All right. To put someone on the spot. What does it mean to put someone on the spot? Means to cause someone embarrassment. I use this expression on the show sometimes, right? Cause them embarrassment or cause them difficulty by forcing them to answer a difficult question or make an important decision. I use it in the context of the show. For example, if, we have Jeff's segment on Friday and I say, oh, sorry to put you on the spot, but what time does that event start? That means I'm forcing him to answer a question. That's why you always say, oh, I'm sorry to put you on the spot. Well, I didn't know this, but the saying finds its origins in the world of theater. In theatrical productions, actors perform on a stage where designated spots marked by lighting or other cues indicate where they should stand or perform specific actions during a scene. So if you look at a theater stage, there's a lot of tape on theater stages, actually. So the actors know exactly where to go. That's their mark, right? That's their spot. But if an actor was unexpectedly placed in a spot where they were not prepared to deliver their lines or perform their role, then they were caught off guard and likely feel pressured to respond immediately. So when you say, sorry to put you on the spot, it means, oh, I'm sorry, I'm pressuring you to answer this question immediately. Cool to know that it came from theater origins. I kind of want to keep going, but we don't have time. Thank you for indulging me with that. I really love finding out the origin stories of some expressions from time to time. We'll have a break, and on the other side of it, we'll get to Perfect Playlist. Here is Weezer first, Island in the Sun. That was Weezer with Island in the Sun, and now it's time for Perfect Playlist. And our theme this week, all week long, has been songs with the number 5 in the title. It is May After All. We have time for 2 today, so here they come. First is going to be Steps, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is a lively track that marked the debut of the British pop group when it was released in November of 1997. It represents a unique entry in the late 90s pop scene. It also combines elements that were somewhat atypical for mainstream pop music of the time. Traditionally, the numbers 5, 6, 7, 8 serve as a count-in to start a dance or musical piece, right? 5, 6, 7, 8. Right? They use it to count it in. In other words, it signals performers to start singing or start performing or start dancing, whatever, in unison. In the song, they draw listeners into the song, setting the stage for an upbeat and engaging musical experience. After that, McFly, 5 Colors in Her Hair. This song debuted at number 1 in the UK for McFly. It was written by 2 of the band members, Tom Fletcher and Danny Jones, plus James Bourne from their fellow British pop group Busted. The song was written about actress Emily Corey's character, Suzanne Suze Lee, who appears in the British TV teen drama As If. 2 songs with number 5 in the title for you today. Steps, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then McFly, 5 Colors in Her Hair. McFly, 5 colors in her hair, and steps 5, 6, 7, 8 before that. Oh my goodness, that was the ultimate dance music from the 1990s, huh? Had that distinct sound. I asked you today a word or phrase you used to say a lot, but you don't say anymore. Umberto, good afternoon, Umberto. Umberto says, my word was dude. Dude, really? Dude? You don't say dude anymore? You know what? Actually, I don't think I say it as much as I used to. I guess whenever I'm hanging out with the guys, like, dude, bro, dude. I still say it a lot. Actually, I guess I just don't say it on the show to you, which is probably a good thing, I guess, isn't it? Thanks for the answer, Umberto. That'll do it for the Steve Hatherly Reboot, for this Thursday afternoon. Thank you to Cheryl for today's Parenting 101. We got some good information, some great learning points from Cheryl this afternoon. Thank you to you, as always, for your listenership and your participation. I have been your host, Steve Hatherly, and today I will leave you with this. It's the Pet Shop Boys Go West. Enjoy that. Have a great day today. Enjoy that beautiful weather outside in Busan this afternoon. And we'll reboot again tomorrow.